Good morning, 7th grade. I hope you had a wonderful Easter weekend. It's pretty special on my end, too. Got to celebrate my birthday on Friday. Sitting here at my house. I made myself a birthday cake. All kinds of wonderful things that you do while in quarantine on your birthday. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, you got some stuff going on. Your IXL that I had already assigned is due Thursday, and you had a test that was going to be on Thursday, but because of last Thursday's Easter thing, I've postponed it to Friday. Okay, so we'll recap at the end of this, but your test is Friday. IXL is due Thursday. All right, let's get started. This is probability. Probability. Okay, this isn't bad. I do have like a page and a half of notes, and that's it. I'm going to skip some stuff. Do y'all really need to know this? No, let me just write it down. Okay, so a couple of definitions. An experiment. An occurrence. My glasses aren't. These aren't the right glasses. Leading to one of several specified outcomes whose result can't be known ahead of time. You know, what is the probability that, someone we know gets the coronavirus, So it's kind of like statistics type deal. What's the probability of, you have some dice and you roll a 2 and a 4, it's probability. I think y'all get that. Okay, sample space is the set of all possible outcomes. Of an experiment. All possible outcomes. Okay, sample space, all the possible outcomes. Trial, single observation. Outcome, result of a single trial, an event, possible outcome of a trial. Okay, there's your definitions. Let's move on. I hate definitions. Okay, now this is important. See, I have 2 stars there. Okay, so probability of an event. We're going to get into the good stuff now. All right, so you have your favorable outcomes over your possible outcomes. Notice it's like a fraction. So you have your desire over your total. Your desired over your total. Okay? Desired outcomes over the total outcomes. That's important. For example, one, two, three, and four. Okay? So I have like a spinner. One, and you can either, and the spinner can land on 1, 2, 3, or 4. What is the probability of getting 2? What's the probability of getting 2? You know, spinning the thing, spinning it, and it going around and around and around and around. What's the probability of it landing on 2? Okay, first of all, how many 2's are there? How many 2's are there? Or how many places are there with the 2? There's only one. One. So then it's 4. That's your desired result. That's your desired result. Over how many total are there? Well, there's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. So, desired result over your total. Now, you divide 1 by 4. 4 cannot go in that. 4 goes in that 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. Add a 0, bring it down. 4 goes into 25 times. So the probability of getting 2 is 0.25. So you put the desired number on top, the grand total on the bottom, and then divide. And you get this. Okay? What if I wanted the probability of getting an even number? Okay? What's the probability of getting an even number? How many total even numbers are there? How many total even numbers are in here? 1, 2. These are even numbers. There's 2. So it's 2 over, what's the total? There's 4. 4 places. So desire over total. Reduce that. Oh, and by the way, this can be an answer too. It depends on what they tell you, the directions. Reduce that to a half. In the decimal form of that, 0.5. Okay? Rewind if you need to and rewatch that. So the desired goes on top, the total goes on bottom. You get your fraction and you can put it into a decimal if they tell you to. All right. What if it's mutually exclusive? Mutually exclusive is 2 events can't occur at the same time. Okay. to find the probability that one or the other of two mutually exclusive events will occur. Add their probabilities. Okay, so we're going to add their probabilities. Now, your key, I know, to find the probability that one or the other of two mutually exclusive events will occur, add their probabilities. Key word, or. When they say or, add. If they say or, you're going to add. For example, that's terrible, I know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say this is shaded. Whoops. This is shaded. That's shaded. Okay, so you got 4, 5, and 2 are shaded. Okay? What is the probability? See the P probability that will get and this is a spinner, that will land on a white spot or a number greater than 4. So what is the probability of landing on a white space or a number greater than 4? This or means we're going to add. So how many white spaces are there? How many white spaces are there? There's 2. 1, 2. Or means add. How many numbers are greater than 4? Just 5. So that's one spot. One number is greater than 4 out of this whole thing. So 2 plus 1 is 3. And how many total are there? How many total? 5. Remember, desire over total. And we're not going to put this in decimal. Okay, so the probability of landing on a white space, well, there's 2, or plus a number greater than 4. There's only one number greater than 4. One number is greater than 4. This is less than, and equal to. This number is greater than 4, so there's only one. Add them, and there's a total of 5. Okay, so let's turn to page 435 for examples. Okay. Number 2. Okay, read the directions. 6 red marbles, 5 yellow marbles, and 4 green marbles are placed in a container, and 1 is drawn. Find each of the following probabilities. Express your answer as both a fraction and a decimal, rounded to the nearest hundredth. Okay, those are your directions. Number 2 says, what's the probability of getting a red? Okay, first, how many red did it say in the directions? How many red did it mention in the directions? 6. How many total are there? How many total? So you're going to add all of the marbles in the directions together. If you add all of the marbles in the directions together, 6 plus 5 plus 4, you get 15. Again, this is your desire over total. Okay? Now, this is not reduced. So we're going to reduce it by 3. 6 red out of 15 total marbles. So this would be 2 over 5. That's your first answer. And then you divide Five goes in 24 times. There's your decimal answer. All right, let's look at 4. Okay, the directions say a class contains 10 boys and 6 girls. Their names are put into a hat, and one name is drawn. Find each of the following probabilities. Express your answer as both a fraction and a decimal, rounded to the nearest hundredth. Okay, so those are your directions. So number 4 says, what's the probability of drawing a boy? All right, so how many boys are there? How many total boys in the directions did it say? That's right. There are 10 boys. Your desire, whoops. And then over your total. You don't desire boys. Some of you are probably laughing about that. No, your desired, results, and they're asking for boys. Don't desire boys, ladies. Okay, so what's your total out of all that? So read your directions again. There are 10 boys and 6 girls, so how many total are there? 16. Very good. Okay, so now you reduce that. You can divide by 2 for both, and you get 5 over 8. And I'm just going to go ahead and to save time, you guys can divide it out, but your answer is 0.625. They did say to round it to the hundredths place. There's my hundredths place. I look to the right. That 5 is 5 or greater, so that number gets bumped up. So there's your fraction and your decimal. All right. Let's do another one. 6. Okay, we're using the same stuff. Okay, same directions. This time they want the probability of a boy or girl. Okay, what does this or mean? That's right. Whenever you see that or, that means plus. Okay, how many boys are there? How many boys are there? There's 10. Read in your directions. How many girls are there? In your directions, 6. So, add them up. 10 plus 6 is 16. That's your desire. And your total goes on the bottom, remember. How many total boys and girls are there? 16. That's right. So, 16 divided by 16, I don't know why I got that red, is 1. Can't put that in a decimal. It is what it is. All right, number 8. Okay, read the directions. For one spin, find each of the following probabilities. Express your answer as both a fraction and a decimal rounded to the nearest hundred. Okay, so look to the right there. Do you see the spinner? Notice the spinner there to the right. Okay, so for 8, what's the probability of an even number? All right, how many even numbers are there? How many even numbers? Well, if you look, there's 2, 4, and 6. Those numbers are the even numbers. 2, 4, and 6 that are on that spinner. How many are there? 3. That's your desire. There's 3 even numbers on the spinner. How many total numbers are there? That's right, 6. There's 6 total numbers on the spinner. So we divide by 3 on top and bottom. You get a half, and the decimal is 0.5. Make sure you have both of those in your answers. If they tell you to do fraction and decimal, then you need to do fraction and decimal. All right, 10. Same directions, but they're looking for a number that's less than 6. All right, so what numbers are less than 6 on the spinner? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there are 5 numbers on the spinner less than 6. So then 5 goes on top, and there's a total of 6 numbers. Desire over total. So this is your answer in fraction form. If you divided 5 by 6, you would get 0.83. That's your decimal answer. All right, number 12. Let's read the directions together. If one square is drawn, find each of the following probabilities. Express your answer as both a fraction and a decimal rounded to the nearest hundred. Hey, that's your directions. You got to read those in your book. If one square is drawn, now notice the little, the yellow letters to the right there, the little yellow cards to the right, that's what they're talking about right there. Okay? So, number 12 is what's the probability that you're going to draw an A? How many A's are there in that stack? How many A's are in those yellow or on those yellow cards? There's one A in those yellow cards there to the right. So I have 1 out of how many total yellow cards or letters do you see? 8. So total of 8. So there's your answer. And in decimal form, it's 0.125. They want you to round to the hundreds place. There's the hundreds place. We look to the right. That's 5 or greater. So then your decimal is 0.13. 16. Let's read the directions together. Read the directions. Ooh, I like 14. Let's look at 14. 14 says, what's the probability of a C? All right, guys, how many C's are there in those yellow cards? How many yellow cards have the letter C on them? There's 3. There's 3 yellow cards that have the C on them. So there's 3 out of 8. If you divide 3 by 8, you would get 0.38 if you do it correctly. All right. I think we're going to stop there. I think you get what we're doing here. I think we're going to stop there. Okay. I'm going to just stop. You're going to be doing pages 435. I'm not going to have you do a whole lot. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Numbers 1 through 19 odd. I think you can try that. If you have any questions or you have any problems, let me know, okay? I'm sorry I was reading. This is due Tuesday. Okay? Due Tuesday. You have IXL due Thursday. You have a test on Friday. Okay? If you have any questions, let me know, especially on those last ones. If you have any questions, just let me know. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye.